ITV bosses are reportedly furious at Phillip Schofield's claim that he would have been treated differently if he had had an affair with a woman rather than a man. And Jeremy Clarkson has recently revealed the details of a phone call between himself and Phillip, and Holly Willoughby has broken her silence. More on those news snippets later. Back to ITV, who are boiling over, apparently, after Phillip Schofield, who quit the channel after lying about his relationship with a much younger This Morning colleague, said on his new reality series that he would have got a pat on the back if it wasn't a gay relationship. However, ITV insiders have hit back, saying it is totally untrue to suggest he would have been treated differently. In his upcoming television comeback on Channel 5 program Cast Away, Schofield refers to himself as the disgraced Phillip Schofield, who had an affair. He said, "Strangely, I think another TV presenter or two might have done exactly the same thing. Difference is heterosexual. It's not an unusual thing in the gay world for there to be a difference in age groups. That's not that unusual in the straight world, but if that had been the case with me, and it had been a woman. Pat on the back. Well done, mate." Schofield also said that he has regrets and acknowledges he got something wrong and hurt the people around him. "I don't know what price you're supposed to pay, and whether the price you're paying is necessarily proportionate," he adds. However, a source at the channel said, "It's a stupid thing for Phil to say, and it is just not true. Phil lied to his colleagues, his bosses and his friends about it. It wouldn't have mattered if it was a woman or a man." They add that Schofield is unlikely to work with the channel again, despite his hints that he had been approached to appear on their reality show, I'm a Celeb. One source said, "He lied to us. It would be really, really difficult." ITV's fury comes as Schofield also hints that he was fired from the network, when in fact, as stated by the newspaper Anyway, the first its chiefs learned of his departure was in a statement where he admitted the affair and said he left with immediate effect. Sources at the broadcaster also say that he chose to step back from presenting This Morning a fortnight before, following a fallout with his former co-star Holly Willoughby. In the program, which airs from Monday, Schofield takes aim at a trio of his former ITV colleagues, saying, "I think there are only 3 S's." Interestingly, Phil pointed out that one was a coward who never stepped up in Qgate, while another is a coward because they never stepped up when I was being battered by that one journalist who thought I'd got them fired. The third, Schofield says, is just brand orientated. Not what you expect, not what you think you're going to get. He also insisted that he has now quit television and doesn't want to make a return despite filming the 3-part show for Channel 5, which sees him having to survive alone in Madagascar. In other news, Jeremy Clarkson has opened up about a distressing call he had with Phillip Schofield last year, when news of the former This Morning presenter's affair went public. Despite apparently not being close friends, the star of Clarkson's Farm states he did not agree with how Phil was treated amid the scandal, prompting him to reach out, and they ended up having a long conversation over the phone. Clarkson recounted the moment, describing Phil as a broken man during their chat in 2023. He said Phil could see no way forward, as his 35-year television career appeared to be over. However, with recent news that Phil is set to return to our screens on Monday, Clarkson shared his joy at Phil's recovery. In his column for The Sun, Clarkson wrote, "When Phillip Schofield announced on morning television that he was gay, everyone rallied round and said how brave he'd been. But when it turned out that he'd actually done gay stuff, he was sacked, cancelled, eviscerated and swept into the bucket of history marked disgraced, aging TV stars. I was actually quite cross about this. So even though I don't know him at all well, I called him up and we had a long chat. It was like talking to a completely broken man, because he could see no way back. I was therefore delighted to hear this week that he's managed it. He's been on a small island, with nothing but a camera for company, and he's made some kind of soul-searching documentary which will be aired on Channel 5 next week. And looking at the pictures, I couldn't help thinking, couldn't we all do with a break like that?" And ahead of Phillip Schofield's appearance on Cast Away, a TV insider shared, "Phillip certainly didn't make many friends with his behavior on This Morning in the final years, but there is a degree of sympathy amongst some people for the state he finds himself in now. Celebs are not going to be lining up publicly to speak out for him, but liking his messages is at least a more subtle way of wishing him luck on his new project." He will have been thrilled to see them like his messages ahead of the show starting. Meanwhile, Phillip's nemesis Holly Willoughby, who had remained suspiciously quiet on the topic of her former bestie's comeback, recently took to social media. Not to extend an olive branch, or wish Phil good luck, but to completely ignore him altogether. Shrugging off Schofield's swipe, while flashing her legs in a stunning new shoot, she appeared to snub her former pal's pointed dig, where he claimed he was thrown under the bus. Instead, Holly shared an image of herself in a dazzling pink dress, which revealed her pins and featured a huge bow by the collar. The grinning presenter could be seen holding some silver balloons against the backdrop of white curtains as she leant forward for the photo. It was taken to celebrate Holly's wellness brand Wild Moon's 3rd birthday. She opted for a minimal makeup look and pinned her blonde locks back, and cashing in on the media frenzy, she seemingly took the opportunity to make a fast buck, with the caption reading, "Join our 3rd birthday celebrations with 20% off perfume, wax melts, diffusers and travel minis." Holly then added, "Just wanted to say a huge thank you for having been such a special part of our journey. Here's to more years of connection and beautiful moments ahead." Is she talking about her customers or Phillip Schofield? We'll probably never know. Holly's post comes after telly veteran Phillip mocked the cringeworthy moment when his former This Morning co-host broached the subject of his departure on This Morning, as she bizarrely opened the show with the words, "Are you okay?" Phil also hinted at a lack of support from his longtime friend, saying, "When you throw someone under a bus, you've got to have a really bloody good reason to do it." Interesting. Does he mean, like most people assume, that she didn't have a good reason to do it? Or could he actually be implying that indeed, she did have a good reason to do it? That is the million-dollar question, and a question that one day we hope will be answered. But for now, Phillip Schofield's moment in the spotlight is burning bright and threatens to spontaneously combust as the build-up to his big comeback causes a media frenzy. Will there be more shocking revelations about his affair with the young runner, and will he throw anyone else under the bus? He certainly seems to be going all out to get back at those who crossed him. But is Phillip just using this opportunity to have the last word and bow out of television, with a bang? Does he really have no intention of returning to our screens once Castaway draws to a close? Or will his ego get in the way of good sense, as the job offers start to land on his doormat, tempting him to get everything back that he lost? Where will his revenge end, and how far will he go to get it? Somehow, we have a feeling Phillip Schofield won't slip off quietly into obscurity, just yet. Like and subscribe for more journeys through the blinker hole. For entertainment purposes only.